Hey, what's up? I was playing around with this guitar, kind of a cool guitar, with the P90 pickups in it, and I discovered that when I was bending some strings, I was getting volume drop off between the pull pieces, so the screws underneath each string. So I would play a note, and it would be a certain volume. I'd bend it up a bit, moving the string, by pushing the string, moving the string off center of these screws that are called pull pieces. Off center, so in between them, where there's no metal, and there would be a drop in volume. I noticed that. So I got to thinking, like, there should be like a solid bar or something. I know that they make them. In this drop off is common in a lot of pickups, single coils mostly, but it's not uncommon. So I was thinking if there was a bar or something. It's like, I like the sound of these pickups. I mean, there's no way, short of like routing out a like line between all of them, like a trough or whatever, and countersinking a piece of metal or magnet in there. I'm like, And then I thought, hey, couldn't I just make a thing like this? And it's magnetic, so I put it over the pull pieces, and ta-da, I now have what's commonly known as like a rail pickup. So instead of the 6 individual pieces, it's the metal bar. And it works. It changed the sound of the pickup a little bit, of course. Doing anything with any of it, any element, is going to change the sound a bit. I kind of like it. I think it's a good idea. I had to take the cover off because it's a fairly thick plastic cover that goes over it. And there's the 2 screws. So yeah, there's 6 of the larger, I don't know if you can see them, and then the little smaller ones between the 2nd and 3rd and 4th and 5th pull pieces, and that holds the pickup into the body. I had to countersink those because they're like kind of like round heads on them, and it wasn't allowing this piece of metal to sit flush on top of the pickup. So that's what I came up with. I asked around, and a friend of mine said, hey, I have a friend who could probably make these. So he asked him, and his friend said, yeah, sure. So a friend of a friend made this, and made a bunch of them, different thicknesses and things like that. They all work pretty much the same, and the change in the sound of the pickup is subtle. It's really more of like a feel that I can feel when I'm playing, listening to the amp. But it is there, and I noticed that the thickness doesn't seem to make a huge difference. So without it, it sounds a certain way. With the metal on, it sounds a slightly different way, and it's very subtle. But the thickness, a thinner piece, it still has kind of the same. Obviously, it must sound different, but it's even more subtle, the thickness. So I just went with this is the thickest one, and it, just to answer your question, it is not higher than the pull pieces. So it's not bringing the magnetic field closer to the strings. Obviously it's focusing it in a different way, probably bringing it up further, maybe similar to like the staple P90s, where instead of the round screw heads, it has like little like rectangle pieces that pick up more of the string vibration. The screw heads, I think, are like 5 millimeters in diameter or something. The staples may be like 7 millimeters in length, so they pick up a little more of the string, so they sound a little different. So I think that's the main difference with this. So now I'm going to play the guitar without, put it in with, take it out without, put it in with, and then I'm going to edit so that hopefully they're like right next to each other. So you just have to kind of pay attention to see which one is which, because I'm going to edit them, and it's only going to be like a couple seconds without, a couple seconds with, a couple seconds without, a couple seconds with. Okay, so there we go, and I'll try to play like the same thing too. So I don't know if it sounded different. I can feel a little bit of a difference with it on. I like it. It seems oddly enough a little less gainy, but a little thicker. I thought it would be a little more output because more mass on the top, more magnetic, but it seems a little less. It could be due to the makeup of the piece of metal. It is magnetic. That was obviously the one thing that it needed to be, magnetic. But maybe a different type of steel with a different like iron content or something might make it a little stronger. I don't know. But I think it was a cool experiment. That sounded weird.